In college algebra today, we did a little bit of algebra practice and then worked on a word problem. So this is just review over orders of operation and how to simplify. Remember, with PEMDAS, you want to work inside the parentheses and work your way out, or I should say start inside the parentheses and work your way out. So on number 1, between these two terms, there is nothing to be done. Those are unlike terms. Same over here, same over here, same over here. So those are all unlike terms inside the parentheses, so you can't really do anything. So next step, you move outside the parentheses and you want to distribute. So we're going to distribute the 6 and the 10. And we get 12x squared plus 24x plus 40x squared plus 30x. Once again, we need to ask about like terms, and these two are like because they have the same base and exponent, and these two are like terms, same base, same exponent. All right, and that's the end of number 1. On number 2, very similar, just different numbers. Distribute the 7, distribute the 2. So 28x squared and then add like terms. So you end up with 38x squared plus 23x. So that was a little warm up. 3 and 4 get a little bit more difficult, and you really need to make sure you're working inside out. So we go 8x plus 2. I'm not working with those yet. I need to deal with that negative outside the parenthesis. And it flips those signs. Still not working outside. I can add the 5 and the 3. Now I can work with the 2. Combine like terms, and we got it. On number 4, very similar. By the way, I didn't say it. The brackets work just like parentheses. It's just a different way of it just helps organize the expression better. So one thing you may be tempted to do, but you can't do, is you can't combine the 6 and the 4. And the reason is because there is multiplication happening right there. And don't forget PEMDAS. You got to multiply before you add. All right? So we have now 9 minus x. Now we distribute the 4. Now we combine the 6, and we get 42. All right, I hope that made sense. We're going to move to a word problem that deals with more of a college or adult topic. Our textbook is very college, and they're trying to warn people away from drinking and driving, I believe. So they came up with this formula for blood alcohol level, and it's based on 2 variables, N and W. So N is number of drinks, and W is the weight of the person. Now I imagine this, one reason why this interests me is because I love statistics, and I imagine that this formula is something that maybe the Bureau of Labor and Statistics worked on through experiments, and that's also a way that laws are made, because 0.08 is the legal limit if you're of age. Big if there. So if you're curious, you can read through all that. Gets kind of ugly, and then it gets really ugly on the back page. So what I would recommend doing is, if you have this printed, I would copy this formula on the back. So I'm going to copy it. My 6s are just not looking right. See if I can fix it. That's a little better. I don't know, those are 6s. All right, what we want to do is we want to plug in 120 for W, and we want to fill in this entire table. So I'm going to show you how to do it pretty quickly with the calculator. It's very handy. And we can go from there and compare it to a 200-pound person at the bottom of the page. So first off, the long way, you could do this by hand if you want. For 1 drink, we're going to go times 1. 120 times 0.6 times 1. Plus 169, and if you do that and type it in, you should get 029. But you have to do that 10 times, and the calculator can do it very quick. So let's look at the calculator. So first off, if you're doing it by hand, one at a time, you can press Control Divide. 600 times 1 drink over 120, parenthesis 0.6 times 1 plus 169. And you get 029. A fast way is if you go to the graph. Now you have to be clever, and you have to type an X instead of N. So if you go 600X over 120 parenthesis 0.6x plus 169. And by the way, I forgot to say it a second ago, you can get a fraction by pressing Control Divide. And I don't like that, so get rid of that. That was weird. You hit Enter, and you get a graph. That's not very helpful, but you press Control T, and you get the entire table. There it all is. So I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to hit pause and fill it in. All right, there you go. I'm going to go to the calculator and press Control T and then edit what I typed. Because if you scroll down in the document, there's another table down there for a 200-pound person. So if we change this to 200, you can get a new table. By the way, you hit Tab up, and you can change what you typed earlier. All right? Press Control T, and there is for the 200-pound person. So I'm going to fill that one in, and we can compare and go from there. All right, there is the bottom table. I didn't want to erase what I wrote earlier, so that goes to the bottom table. And one thing that's interesting is you see that weight, a person's weight, plays a big role, because look at this. After 3 drinks, the heavier person is not past the legal limit. That happens right here. So weight is definitely a factor. I try and give you all job ideas, and this formula up here is based on stats and different experiments. So I imagine this government department, Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they were able to do some different experiments and come up with formulas, and I wonder if they even have a hand in suggesting different laws that are passed. So there's a job idea right there with biology and mathematics. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.